So I didn't always aspire to being in the military. I did want to be a pilot for a good chunk of my life, though.
Okay.
Probably from the age of 14 or so.
Okay.
I had a couple flights on a commercial airliner and thought, man, that would be pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they let me go in the cockpit one time.
Because they used to let you do that.
Yes, you could go and look around and they put a hat on you and stuff. And I thought, man, this is what I want to do.
Really?
And so it wasn't really the military that, gave me the inspiration.
Right.
Initially, it was flying. So I was always a really shy kid.
Okay.
And coming from Berkeley and Oakland, it is a different culture, especially in the 70s as compared to Richmond, Virginia. So I have to say it wasn't an easy transition, but I think early in my life, it helped me to realize that culture matters and people are different in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, people are the same. And so I think that early experience really helped me with my cultural awareness and just understanding the differences in people, but also the similarities.
So along those lines, you oversee 4,200 plus cadets. That's got to be a very diverse group of people. What's the most eye-opening aha moment that you have realized about human beings?
Everything you could think of from a diversity standpoint, we have it here. And so, we meet people where they are, and we try to develop them to where we want them to be and to be those leaders of character. But I think what I do realize among all those different cultures, what people want is a sense of purpose. And if we can help them to understand the why and to understand that they're doing something bigger than themselves, then they're willing to move towards that purpose together, no matter how culturally diverse they are. And what it takes, though, is a level of dignity and respect that we expect of them so that they can come together and serve on the teams that they're going to serve on together and move towards that common purpose. But when they understand what that purpose is, it gives them a reason to do what they need to do to get there as a team and get there together. So I think for me, even among our differences, we can find commonality. We can find common ground, and we can move towards common objectives and purposes. So I think that if our country could see what our cadets do here, they would be proud, and I think it'd be a good example of dignity and respect leading to a greater purpose.
So let me ask you, what are your guiding principles? What are the tenets that have never let you down in this very interesting career that you've had?
Number one is always to remember my purpose and my why, not just as an officer, but as a man. And my faith is very important to me, but also my duty and my whole adult life, I've been in the Air Force and serving our country. So understanding that purpose of supporting and defending the Constitution is always a guiding principle. But also in that, treating people with dignity and respect. Whether they're leading you or you're leading them or they're your peers, we have to treat people as people. And I believe if we do that, then the mission will follow.
What is the one thing that people get wrong about you?
Yeah. So it's funny, we're sitting here, but you're going to go, really? I'm actually an introvert, and people always think that I'm a total extrovert. But, I take all the tests, the Myers-Briggs and all those things, and they always come out and they say, well, you're an introvert. But I think it's because they don't really understand what an introvert is. When I recharge, I like to recharge with a smaller group or by myself. That's where I get my recharging. If it's just me and my family or me and some close friends, that's recharging time for me.
So let me ask you, I'm going to ask you two parts so you can think about the other part.
All right.
What's the best part of your job? What's the worst part of your job?
Well, I will say the best part of my job is seeing the cadets and seeing what they're doing and engaging with them on different levels. But they inspire me because they're young, they're energetic, they have vision for their future, and they believe in their purpose. You know, they came here, they gave up a lot of opportunities, all of them, to go to different schools and do different things, but they chose this place because they want to be a part of something bigger. And they do inspire me to be here and to do this job. So seeing them and all the things that they do is absolutely the best part. I would say the toughest part is, you know, we have a lot of people that are interested in what we're doing here at the Academy, and a lot of people who have opinions and they think they understand the Academy better than anybody else in a lot of cases. So dealing with those people who are the naysayers or the critics about things that we do here it can sometimes be difficult and frustrating because our team is so good at providing the development for these cadets, for their leadership development. And when we do get criticized, and we're not perfect by any stretch, but when we do get undue criticism, it's very frustrating to me, especially when people don't really understand what's going on here. And I will say, when those people that do have different opinions about what we're doing, when they come here and they see it, and when they do understand it, they change their mind and they understand what's going on. So
it's more of an education process.
I think so. But a lot of them aren't willing to get that education and they just jump to their own conclusions. And it makes it tough because it's a highly visible institution. Every congressional member and you know, a lot of elected officials have interest in us, and rightly so. So sometimes that can be a bit difficult, but it is part of the job, and I do understand that. And it's our job to try to explain and educate what we're doing. But when that's led with criticism, it can be tough sometimes.
Right.
But we also listen, right? We're a learning institution, and sometimes people have thoughts and ideas that are helpful to us. So that's why we, you know, when we do get people that want to, I'll say, contribute to our mission, we listen. We listen, but we also have to educate and help provide some understanding.
And who helps you? I mean, you're in a very prominent position. You are dealing with not only elected officials, you're dealing with military, you're dealing with your community. Who helps you? Who mentors you?
Well, I have an amazing team. I will say they are my team here on the headquarters staff, just absolutely incredible. And I get a lot of mentorship from the people who work with me, a lot of advice. But also our dean, our commandant, our athletic director team also have great insight and ideas. And I feel like we have the team in place to really help move our institution along. So I am always grateful for them and the advice that they give. But then there's people outside of the Academy that provide me a lot of advice and mentorship. I mean, we have a lot of graduates of the Academy and alumni who I worked for in previous jobs who are so extremely helpful to us. And they provide that help in a very, I would say, appropriate way. And I'm greatly appreciative of them. And then I have other colleagues, you know, I have colleagues here, Song Richardson, Venkat Reddy, Lance Bolton, you know, partners who are here in the immediate Colorado Springs area. And I have other presidents of institutions that I count on to just help me to understand. But one group of people, my fellow superintendents from West Point, from Annapolis, from the Merchant Marine Academy, the Coast Guard Academy, we have a tight group. And we got really tight during COVID because we were all going through the same thing. All of us at all the service academies, we have the same mission, to develop leaders of character. Now maybe they're going into different services, but ultimately the expectation for all of them is the same. And so for all of us superintendents to be able to talk together and work together is invaluable, because the academies, they're part university, they're part military,
Right.
and people in the university world can't fully understand us, and people in the military world can't fully understand us. But my fellow superintendents are just, when we mention one problem, I can't remember a time where someone said, never heard of that one.
What do you think your biggest win was, and what was your biggest disappointment?
I would say the biggest win was really fighting through COVID and coming out of that in a place where we could pick up and keep moving. That was a heavy lift on the whole team and a huge burden. But I felt like the team did a great job, and it was important for us to get that right, because we couldn't take a break. You know, it's not like we could take a year and a half or so off and just let COVID pass. So I was really proud of the way the team responded and the way that we got through that. People will never know how tough it really was here, and for the cadets. So that was pretty huge. And what it does, there's a quote that I love by Lao Tzu, who was an ancient Chinese philosopher. And he said, your thoughts become words, your words become actions, your actions become habits, your habits become character, and your character is your destiny. And when we talk about developing our leaders, we start with our Air Force core values: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. But how do we then translate those thoughts and words into actions and habits? And our framework gives us a path to do that, so that our cadets, as far as taking integrity, right? What does that look like? It looks like a person that lives honorably in every aspect of their life, no matter if anyone's looking or not, no matter what aspect it is, professionally or personally. You live your life honorably, and you do that on the basis of the integrity that you have at your core. For a person that puts service before self, you lift others. We've all known leaders that lift themselves over their teammates, but what we want are leaders that are going to lift their team before themselves, lift others. And when we talk about excellence in all we do, it's about elevating your performance and getting better every day. Better today than you were yesterday, better this time you participate or do an activity than you did the last time. And so living honorably, lifting others, and elevating performance are those habits and actions that we want to see from the cadets. And it's across every element of our academy, whether athletic, academic, militarily. We want our cadets to develop in that vein. So that leader of character framework is really important, and I think that we're getting traction there. So I also call that a win. As far as the things that I would say were disappointments, the most disappointing aspect at any time is when we have failures in dignity and respect. And when we have a cadet or a number of cadets that don't treat their fellow cadets with dignity and respect, that is the most disappointing periods that I have here. And it's something that we work hard on, but whether it's sexual harassment or sexual violence or racial discrimination or any other type of discrimination, those are the most disappointing. And again, we bring cadets in, every year we bring 1,000 new cadets, a quarter of our academy changes out.
Right.
And we have to help people to understand and to grow and to know what it means to really be that kind of leader of character that treats people the way that they deserve to be treated. And when we fail there, it's a huge disappointment. And we work hard to develop it, but again, we're not perfect.
So, having moved here from Denver, I didn't realize that people can come and hike here, that this is an open base. I don't think people know what that is if they aren't military. So can you talk to a little bit about what's your invitation to the residents in this area, Colorado Springs, businesses to get involved with you guys? What can we do to support you? What can, just talk to that, I guess.
I think my message to the community would be to come see the amazing things that are going on here. We love our Colorado Springs community and what it brings to the Air Force Academy. And frankly, this community is a great recruiting tool for us because people see what's actually going on here and they love Colorado Springs. Like it seems like most of the country loves it because people are moving here in droves. But to be able to have our academy here is really a privilege, and we want our community to be involved.
So how do you envision the Academy doing business with Colorado Springs?
Well, Colorado Springs is clearly a key partner in our mission. And so everything that we can do to partner with our community leaders, we have our Honorary Commanders program where several of our community leaders take part in different organizations on base to help us to execute our mission. But I think just the connections between our team here at USAFA and the community in Colorado Springs, we just have to make that as tight and as seamless as possible because we are a part of this community and the community is integral to our mission. So everything that we can do to be great partners to Colorado Springs is critical to us. And if we don't do that, then we're failing in our mission. But I don't ever foresee that being a problem because the community is just so welcoming to our cadets, to our faculty. I mean, we live in the community. Mm-hmm. We take part in everything that this great community has to offer. And we just want to continue to make those ties as tight and seamless as they can be. We're here. We're going to be here, and we love this community. We're fortunate to have our academy placed here.
And then last question, what is one thing that people don't know about you, something you've done or something about you that would really surprise them? Obviously, you've flown, so it can't be like jumping out of an airplane, but...
All right, I'm going to tell you, I don't usually say this out in public, but okay. I'll tell you, okay. I was on the Oprah show when I was back in the 90s, and I went on there. A friend of mine was a producer, and she worked for Oprah, and she asked me to come on there and do a dating thing. And so I went on a date with a woman that I got fixed up with on the Oprah show. And I got a call sign out of it from my squadron because they were relentless. And my call sign is Harpo, which is Oprah backwards. And they were going to call me Oprah, but one of them said, "Don't do that. We can't set him up for life being called Oprah." So they said, "Okay, we'll flip it over."
That is hysterical.
I can't believe I actually told you that.
Thank you. I'm really good at getting that one little thing out. That is my goal.
You got a nugget there that I don't usually put out. But
thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Thank you for leading these 4,200 cadets.
No, it was amazing to talk to you, and I'm honored to do this job.